Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we will be reading from the Are Just No Males subreddit, so let's jump into it. This happened about 10 years ago when I was still in high school. My dad had an on-again, off-again girlfriend for as long as I can remember. We'll call her Tina. My dad started dating Tina when I was like 5. He would always tell me that she was the one, that we were meant to be together, etc. But then he would get mad at me for calling her mom, or getting upset when she wasn't around during the holidays or birthdays, so I never knew what to call her or how to act around her. Anyway, fast forward to when I was in 11th grade. Me and my dad weren't really close, so I didn't really care when they broke up yet again. But a month after they broke up, he started talking to Tina again. I noticed he was always with her, even during family gatherings. And he would always brag about how amazing she was and how he was gonna not marry her this time for sure. Well, my birthday was coming up and I was turning 18, and I remember thinking to myself, well, here goes nothing. Maybe this year will be the year that I finally get to meet the woman who my dad has been in love with since before I was born. So I came home from school one day and they had this huge fight. I didn't think much of it. These kinds of fights always ended in a breakup. So I went to my room and locked the door and just laid down. Then my dad knocks on my door and he's crying. I open the door and he's like, "You need to go out with me." I'm like, "Where are we going?" And he says, "We're going to see your mother." I was confused because my parents had been divorced for years and my mom lived 3 hours away. Then he started explaining stuff while we drove, and basically my dad told me that Tina cheated on him yet again, and that's why they fought. He said that he wanted to get back with my mom because he realized that she was the one. When we got to my mom's house, my dad knocked on the door and my mom opened it. They talked for a bit, and then my dad asked if he could stay there for a few days until he got things sorted out. My mom took him in without hesitation. I stayed in the guest room and everything was fine until 2 a.m. when my dad started banging on my door, screaming for me to get out of my room. I open the door and he starts yelling at me, saying that my mom is his ex-wife and that I'm not supposed to be in there. I told him that he was the one who asked to stay there and that it wasn't my fault. Then he screamed for me to just go sleep in the car and slammed the door in my face. I called my mom from her room and she told me to just come sleep in her room instead. I never told my mom what my dad said to me that night because I didn't want her to get upset or get into a fight with my dad, so I just told her that I couldn't sleep. In the morning, my dad was already gone. I texted him asking why he left me in the car last night and he never replied. The next morning, my mom and I were eating breakfast and my dad called. My mom answered, but he asked for me. So she handed the phone to me. He started apologizing for what he did the night before, and I told him that it was fine. He asked me if I wanted to move in with him and Tina, but I said no, because at that point I knew that if they got married, I would have to change my last name, and it would have been almost like I was choosing sides in their weird on-again, off-again relationship. He got really pissed off and told me that I was being selfish and hung up on me. I didn't talk to him for months, but one day he showed up at my mom's house with flowers and chocolates and asked me to come back home with him. I refused and he left. A few weeks later, I heard from my dad's coworker that he and Tina were moving to another state because she got a job offer. So I guess that's why he wanted me to move in with them. 2 years later, my mom and I were eating at this seafood restaurant when suddenly my dad shows up. I was shocked because he never tried to contact me after he moved out of state. We talked for hours and he told me that he and Tina were getting a divorce. He said that she cheated on him again and that she never loved him. He said that he was so sorry for how he acted towards me and he asked me to move in with him. I told him that I needed some time to think about it. We started talking more often, and then he asked me again, and I told him that I would move in with him, but only if he promised to never speak bad about my mom in front of me again. He agreed. So, yeah, I moved in with my dad and his new wife. It was actually a nice change. He was so much more relaxed and fun to be around once he wasn't with Tina. It's been 10 years and I still live with my dad. But now it's under one condition, that if he ever breaks up with his wife, I get to move back in with my mom.